I don't think most people understand just how quickly machine intelligence is advancing. It's much faster than almost anyone realizes, even within Silicon Valley, and certainly outside Silicon Valley, people really have no idea. So
why is that dangerous?
I mean, if there's a super intelligent, particularly if it's engaged in recursive self-improvement, if there's some digital super intelligence and its optimization or utility function is something that's detrimental to humanity, then it will have a very bad effect. It could be just something like getting rid of spam email or something, and it's like concludes, well, the best way to get rid of spam is to get rid of humans.
But why would we lose?
The source of all spam.
I know we've all watched Cal in 2001, but why would we lose control over our machines? There are no data points showing that our connection to machine has ever been loosened.
Actually, I think the thing to do would be to plot the progress of digital intelligence versus time, and then to maybe curve fit or extrapolate that progress and see where that leads.
But you're talking about machines that are not just intelligent, but have intentionality. Is that right?
They have the intention of their utility function,
which is what we programmed in, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But it can have unintended consequences.
Hello everyone. This presentation is being presented by Raju Mohan Reddy, Maribeth, Rahul, Sadashiv, and Bhardwaj. In this presentation, I'll be talking about why within 50 years we cannot expect to see information technologies capable of same type of flexible, common sense reasoning that humans alone are capable of today. In this sci-fi world, people imagine AI capable of doing impossible things. In movies like Terminator, where AI has taken control of all the world, and in sci-fi shows like Westworld, where they have created a whole town inhabited by AI, where normal human beings go to spend their vacations. People imagine AI to replicate human behavior. And even people like Elon Musk think that AI will be capable of overthrowing humans. But I am here to say otherwise. In this presentation, I'll talk about AI and common sense reasoning, the history of artificial intelligence, the challenges and the limitations that artificial intelligence faces, some of the notable AI failures, and the conclusions. To begin with, what is AI? AI is a branch of computer science dealing with simulation of intelligent behavior in computers. According to Merriam-Webster, the capability of a machine to imitate human behavior is called artificial intelligence. In terms of common sense reasoning, AI is concerned with the human ability to understand and manipulate information about everyday world of objects and their interactions. The concept of artificial intelligence first arose in 1950s when John McCarthy first introduced the term artificial intelligence. Norbert Wiener wrote a book on principle of feedback theory where he talked a lot about artificial intelligence. Alan Turing during the World War II made the famous Turing machine, and he wrote a test which tests the machine ability to behave as intelligent as a human. This test is served as the benchmark for artificial intelligence. According to this test, if we keep a human and an artificial intelligence robot in a room and ask them questions, if we are not sure after the end of the test that which room is inhabited by human and which by artificial intelligence, then that machine has the ability to behave as intelligent as a human. 1956 to 1974 were termed as the golden years for artificial intelligence. There were periods in which the interest in artificial intelligence was minimal, and so were the fundings. These years were called AI winters, and they varied from 1974 to 1980 and 1987 to 1993. To replicate human thinking is to replicate their thought process. Machine learning helps in decision making. The domain data is used for problem solving. The computer vision helps in perception. Natural language and dialogue and conversation are used for communication. Now I'll be going through these three main aspects of AI. In symbolic AI, methods in artificial intelligence research that are based on high-level symbolic representations of problem and logic. The domain paradigm of AI research from mid-1950s until the late 1980s. The challenges that it faces is translating implicit knowledge unavailable to conscious awareness into an explicit form through symbols and rules. In connectionism, sub-symbolic models are used. Modeling approach to information processing based on interconnected networks and architectures of the brain. The most common model is the neural network, which attempts to stimulate the brain and its function. The main application of neural network is in vision and speech recognition. Now, these are the challenges that are faced by AI learning. Humans learn by building one skill on another, which AI is not capable of today and will remain incapable at least for another 15 years. One example can be Google's DeepMind, a program that can learn one task after another using skill it acquires on the way. The AI treated three different models, day, night, and snowy, of the same game differently. Alan Winefield at the British Robotics Lab at the University of West of England said, I don't believe it brings us significantly closer to AGI since this work does not, nor does it claim to show us how to generalize from one learned capability to another, something you and I were able to effortlessly learn as children. Now I'll mathematically show you that AI won't be able to compete with human brain in the next 50 years. The estimates of how much processing power is needed to emulate a human brain at various levels, along with the fastest supercomputer from top 500 mapped by a year. The research was done by Ray Kurzweil, Anders Sandberg, and Nick Bostrom. Within 50 years, we can expect to see information technologies capable of the same flexible, common sense reasoning that humans alone are capable of today. According to the estimates, the neural simulation it would require processing power of the order 10 to the power 16, which would be available sometime between 2020 and 2025. But a brain simulation would have to capture the detailed cellular behavior of biological neurons presently only understood in the broadest of outlines. The overhead introduced by full modeling of the biological, chemical, and physical detail of neural behavior, especially on a molecular scale, would require computational power several orders of magnitude larger than Kurzweil's estimate. From the graph, which assumes exponential growth of process power every year, the statistic behavior of a single molecule can be replicated given processing power of the order 10 to the power 45, which according to the estimates won't be around sooner than 2065. The intricacy of scientific problems and the need to fully understand the human brain through psychology and neuropsychology have limited many researchers from emulating the functions of the brain into a computer hardware. Many researchers underestimate the solution to these problems, because of which they make promises that are never achieved. Hence, it would be impossible for AI to achieve a human level intelligence within the next 50 years, even if there is enough processing power. Talking about the limitations of artificial intelligence, AI replacing humans 100% is nearly impossible. Artificial intelligence is limited only by the availability of data, and that data is provided to AI by humans. The sentiment analysis of AI is still not reliable. That is, it still can't figure out if a sentence is happy, sad, or sarcastic. Artificial intelligence lacks creativity as compared to humans, and the cost and maintenance of AI systems is very high. Artificial intelligence also lacks consciousness and it has computational limitations. Now, people have also developed products on artificial intelligence which are pretty good, but they are not as good as humans. I'll be talking a bit about a failure case with Tesla Autopilot. These are some of the enhanced autopilot capabilities of Tesla cars. The AI can match the speed to traffic conditions, they can keep the car within a lane, they can automatically change lanes without requiring driver input, they can transition from one freeway to another, it can exit the freeway, and it can self-park when near a parking spot. In May 2016, a driver using Tesla Autopilot was fatally wounded while driving on a Florida highway. Neither the autopilot nor the driver noticed the white side of the tractor trailer against a brightly lit sky, so the brake was not applied. In this case, was the driver relying completely on Tesla Autopilot feature? Had the driver assumed that this technology had the common sense reasoning to react when an unexpected obstacle cut in front of the vehicle? In this case, the common sense reasoning to make the critical decision to brake was not present at the level of human reasoning. There will always be some level of error in regard to this, and so artificial intelligence would not be at par with human thinking. A lot of big companies have taken shots at building their own artificial intelligence, and there have been pretty interesting interactions when those artificial intelligence have interacted with the real world. Researchers at Facebook noticed that artificial intelligence that they had created has started to make up their own code words. Initially, it looked like absolute gibberish, but it became clear that the machines nicknamed Bob and Alice were actually communicating with one another in a strange language that only they understood. This particular AI was supposed to come off as a normal teenage girl. Microsoft's chatbot and AI system called Tay.ai unexpectedly turned into a Hitler-loving, feminist-bashing troll. So what went wrong? In less than 24 hours after her arrival on Twitter, Tay gained more than 50,000 followers and produced nearly 100,000 tweets. The problem? She started mimicking her followers. Soon Tay began saying things like, Hitler was right, I hate Jews, and I fucking hate feminists. But Tay's bad behavior, it's been noted, should not come as no big surprise. The system is designed to learn from its user, so it will become a reflection of their behavior. One need to explicitly teach system about what is not appropriate like we do with children. In another example, an artificial intelligence created by Google made headlines recently because of its ability to learn highly aggressive behavior. DeepMind, a Google's cutting-edge AI company, has accomplished much thus far, including learning from its memory, mimicking human voices, writing music, and beating the best Go player in the world. Recently, the team behind the AI company ran a series of tests to see how it would respond to certain social dilemmas, specifically if it would be more likely to cooperate or to compete. Among the tests, one involved 40 million instances of playing the computer game Gathering, where DeepMind revealed how far it would go to get what it wants. The game involved two scenarios: a wolf pack hunt requiring cooperation and fruit gathering. The fruit gathering scenario proved particularly intriguing since the AI was given the ability to damage other intelligence by attacking them or shooting beams at them. The team discovered that the AI became more aggressive through attacking mechanisms when less fruits was present. The more intelligent the AI network is, the quicker it is to get aggressive in competitive situations where such aggressions will pay off. The behavior raises questions about the link between intelligence and aggressions, what it means to AI to mimic human-like emotions, responses, and if you are worried about potential robotic overlords, what will we need to do to keep AI aggression in check? Another interesting interaction was when Watson team tried to experiment with urban slang. Let's see a video on this.
If there's one thing better than a smart computer, it's a smart-ass computer. Remember Watson, IBM's super smart thinking computer that utterly dominated at Jeopardy against the greatest players of all time? Well, would you believe at one point the computer sounded less like this?
Worst actress of the decade went to this celebutante for films including House of Wax and The Hottie and the Naughty.
What is Paris Hilton?
And more like this.
Rockabye baby on the treetop. Your mother's a whore, I ain't your pop.
See, it all happened back in 2011 when Eric Brown, the research scientist in charge of Watson, was tasked with the ultimate challenge of not only making a computer think, but be able to carry on a conversation with a human being. Only problem is, people tend to use a lot more slang in their day-to-day conversations. According to Brown, as humans, we don't realize just how ambiguous our communication is. So how did IBM solve this problem? By making Watson memorize all of UrbanDictionary.com. On paper, this was a great idea. Watson could learn everyday slang like hot mess or OMG, which in turn would easily enable him to have conversations with anyone, no matter what the vernacular. But then again, this is Urban Dictionary we're talking about here. And as anyone who spent 45 seconds on the site will tell you, it's the last place you want to send anyone to learn anything intelligent. Soon Watson was learning words like asshat, lady boner, front butt, and ugly cry. To make matters worse, Watson started reading Wikipedia and picked up even more bad habits, finally getting to the point where Watson answered a researcher's question by saying, bullshit. So what did IBM do? First, they washed out Watson's mouth with soap by developing a filter that would prevent it from swearing. Then, they went the extra mile and completely wiped all of the data collected from Urban Dictionary. But hey, at least IBM learned how difficult it's going to be for future artificial intelligence to communicate naturally with humans, though it is a total bummer we'll never get to see Watson answer this on Jeopardy!
If Andy yearns for Brenda and Brenda cares about Charlene, who pines for Andy, the three of them form one of these. Kara.
What is it, threesome?
No.
So, do you think it's important for computers to learn human slang, or is it better that they speak the language properly?
In the end, I would conclude it by saying that even though how fascinating AI is, we should not expect to see information technologies capable of same type of flexible common sense reasoning that humans alone are capable of today within the next 50 years. Here are some of the reasons why. The cost of creating and running such powerful computers is very high and can't be easily justified when an inexpensive human workforce is available. Recurring AI winters mark instability of progress and interest in AI, indicating that this may occur again. Challenge of understanding and stimulating the extreme complexity of human brains is very difficult. Mastering common sense reasoning is pretty hard even now. The exact factors that contribute to common sense reasoning for all type of situations must be determined. Countless trials and errors must be used to figure out how to program this correctly. This is a long, complex, and costly process. The growth of supercomputing is another such hindrance. Computing power is increasing quickly, but it is not yet near that of human brain. Even when computing power catches up with human brain, common sense reasoning will still be an issue. More powerful computing requires more complex rules and algorithms, and more complex and powerful computing power comes with a higher computing cost. So these were all the reasons why I think that artificial intelligence would not be as comparable to humans even in the upcoming 50 years.